Welcome everybody to the Town Council meeting for the Town of Conception Bay South for February 4th. And we're kicking off February, of course, is Winterfest month in Conception Bay South. An exciting month here for our residents and council. And we'll start the meeting as we always do with our land acknowledgement. The Town of Conception Bay South would like to respectfully acknowledge the territory in which we gather as the ancestral homelands of the Beothuk, and the island of Newfoundland as the ancestral homelands of the Mi'kmaq and Beothuk. We also respectfully acknowledge Labrador as the traditional and ancestral homelands of the Innu of Nitassinan, the Inuit of Nunatsiavut, and the Inuit of Nunatuavut. We strive for respectful partnerships with all the peoples of this province as we search for collective healing and true reconciliation and honor this beautiful land together. Next up, we have the adoption of the meeting agenda for tonight, moved by Councillor Barrett, seconded by Councillor Butler. All in favor? Contrary minded? Am I waiting for something electronic? I am, okay. There it is. There we go. Next up, we have adoption of the meeting minutes from the last public meeting, January 21st. Councillor Connors moves, seconded by Councillor Hardy. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. Next up is visitors' presentations and petitions, and I believe Councillor Tilley, you have a petition this evening.
That is correct, Your Worship. I do have a petition from the residents in the area of Redbridge Road and I guess all the surrounding areas off of Redbridge Road. It's regarding their strong opposition to the proposed application for a quarry discretionary use on Redbridge Road. So I'd like to pass this on to the town clerk for consideration.
Thank you, Councillor Tilley. New business. We'll start off with you, Councillor Tilley. You go ahead.
Nothing from the Ward 3 perspective. I just want to make sure that everyone has, we're starting our Winterfest on Saturday with a ton of events, so but I'll leave that to my colleagues to show what exactly is on the go, but please get out and enjoy yourself, and hopefully we'll make it a bit of snow.
Councillor Butler.
Thank you, Your Worship. Before I get into economic development on all the good news from January month, I want to extend my condolences to the families of Richard Goss and Deputy Mayor Andrea Goss on the passing of Carrie, who many in CBS have known for years and years. Wonderful lady, and I've known her also, and just wanted to say I'm very sorry to hear of her passing, and also Deputy Mayor's Uncle George Gooby. On to Winterfest, just one thing I have to say, the Seniors Valentine's, which is next Thursday. So I'll be there, so I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. And lots of good news from economic development for the month of January. Now, we had 7 new businesses open, including 4 commercial home offices, including For Your Social and Bespoke Blooms, 1 new home-based daycare on Windfall Crescent, and new commercial businesses, Island Jewelers, which was where Michael Walsh had his jewelry, and Brad has taken over, so glad that Brad has done that, and Vera's Diner, which I'm looking forward to going to Thursday for lunch. Additionally, 4 new business applications have been received and are being processed. The Department of Economic Development and Tourism continues to meet with and offer support on behalf of the town for several local associations, including the Conception Bay Area Chamber, the CBS Parks Commission, and the Downtown CBS, several arts-based community groups, as well as the new Regional Economic Development Agency, Advantage St. John's. To close out the first month of this year, there was a grand opening held this past Sunday. The mayor, Deputy Mayor, and myself were there at the Spa de la Mer. It was a great afternoon, a huge crowd there. Wonderful to celebrate openings of businesses. And they must have a lot of employees. There had to be at least a dozen there. A lot of employees. That's wonderful to see so many employed. And we also are working on 4 more grand openings for businesses, which we are presently in the planning stages. So everything is looking really good for the new year. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Butler. Yeah, 14 employees, as a matter of fact. Yep. Councillor Morris.
Hello? Okay. I just want to mention, I did have the opportunity, I went to Vere's Diner the day it opened for lunch, and it was delicious. And from what Drew said, the milkshakes are a must-have, so I highly recommend it for everyone. It was great. And it was full there when we were there, so it's nice to see. Winterfest, multiple activities coming up, very exciting time. Some events are sold out, but there's still some that have availability. And one of the things high up on all the students in the area on their list is the Shield Games. So very excited to get out and watch some hockey between Villanova Junior High, Frank Roberts, Queenie, and of course, Holy Spirit, who we're all rooting for. So I can't wait to see everyone out with their jerseys, and I'm sure it's going to be a great tournament. And that's all for me.
Thank you, Councillor Morris. Is everybody rooting for Holy Spirit? Is that right?
I thought so. That's what I heard, yeah.
Is that true? Okay. Everybody's rooting for Holy Spirit. In the Shield? No? I'm getting the thumbs. Okay. I think Councillor Hardy might have something to say too. Councillor Barrett.
Thank you, Your Worship. I want to shift gears for a minute. We've had a couple exciting weeks here with the town, and obviously last week, as we were all there, we announced in partnership with the province funding for our community lifestyle center. And so with that out in the open, I wanted to provide maybe some additional context with respect to some of the very encouraging words the deputy mayor said. But council has literally been working on this facility since day one. We literally got sworn in, and later that evening discussion we had was like, this was a priority. And it's seen a lot of renditions since then. I mean, year after year, certainly for a couple of years, we've had a $50 million price tag at the top of our wish list for provincial funding, and that had all the bells and whistles, pool and theater and court space, turf, you name it. We wanted it all. And you know, with post-COVID and inflation and the price of the Canadian dollar, it just, from a fiscal standpoint, at the time, it didn't make much sense for us to go down that road. But we did still continue to believe that this is a value for our community. And we started exploring this dome concept, I guess it was 2023, to try to see if this was feasible for the community. I know we had a number of site visits. Councillor Moores, who went to a few in New York. This time last year, I seen, I guess, the biggest one in North America in Denver, Colorado, just to see these sites in environments similar to Newfoundland winters. And there were so many lessons learned that we had from those visits, from saving money from snow clearing to layout to even the type of court you used for volleyball and basketball. And it was certainly a good investment of our time and resources, and I think ultimately led us to where we were last week, where we could announce such a facility. So just so folks are aware, you've seen the price tag. The dome itself is probably going to be around 10 to 12 million plus site work, comparison to what our $50 million price tag. I mean, it's just night and day different. And also want to kind of compare square footage. The CBS Arena is around 45,000 square feet on the base floor, and our dome is going to be approximately 100,000 square feet. So definitely a lot of space, a lot of excitement when it comes to that. And I wanted to kind of keep in mind two final thoughts that I wanted to mention. First of all is regarding the pool, and happy to say that we reopened the pool yesterday, and lessons will, folks will get their full slate of lessons, and certainly we all are interested in seeing the future of a new pool in the town. But at our last check, that the cost of that was probably at least $25 million. The new Muse Center was $37 million, for an example. And so what we're excited about is the phased approach that the deputy mayor chatted about during the news conference was the availability of us kind of adding on to this facility. So definitely not ruled out. It was very much by design for us to put that in consideration. And the second thing I want to say is that we're also cognizant of the cultural and recreation master plan and what that identified for the arts. And we're still trying to keep that top of mind. And we have a number of meetings arranged and for this area in the town over the next few weeks, and certainly continuing to explore that. So I think it's really exciting. I think we're all very excited. I think it's a huge benefit for the town. I just want to thank all of us for getting to this point, and certainly for the province and their support to make this happen. So I just want to provide a bit of an update from a recreational perspective on what we've been up to the past couple of years. So yeah, exciting. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Barrett. Yeah, pretty exciting for sure. Councillor Hardy.
Thank you, Your Worship. So from an engineering and public works update, just got a couple of things I'd like to highlight. The yard waste program for 2024 had an excellent year, a great uptake. We actually doubled in the amount of numbers that we've seen from bags, going up to almost 600 bags versus the previous year. So we're doing really good. I think a lot more residents are jumping on board when it comes to the yard waste program, so I appreciate that. We also have our climate change station website that has been activated, and it can be found on the town's website. Our climate change station is actually located up in the gateway, up by the stadium. So if anyone sees that extra piece of equipment, that's actually what it is, our climate change station. And one last thing, there's actually, you're going to see over the next couple of weeks, probably into the next month, you're going to see a lot more of the capital fleet moving through the procurement process as we get our fleet back up on to where our numbers should be. So that's it for me. Thanks much.
Thank you, Councillor Hardy. Councillor Connors.
Thank you, Your Worship. This past weekend's been pretty, there was a few people who passed away in our community, well-respected people who passed away in our community, and I just wanted to pass along condolences as well to former Mayor Richard Goss and our current Deputy Mayor Andrea Goss, and the passing of Carrie. We also, George Gooby was a well-respected businessman and community volunteer and everything in the town. Plus, we also lost a guy who, anyone who went to the Robert French Memorial Arena saw Randy Walsh up there for 38 years. He ran the facility, he was the manager, he did almost everything up there. I think the only thing he never did was sharpen skates. Peter Nugent took care of all the sharpening of the skates. But he was a long-time employee of the town, and he was recognized for everybody, and he passed away this weekend. So I just wanted to pass along condolences to his wife, Diane, and their children and family, and on those passings. Just wanted to do a quick echo of what Councillor Barrett just spoke about, the announcement last week, and I think that this is a tremendous recreational asset to our community, and it would have been nice if we could have got all the money, because we wanted to go to Big Show and get all the money to do the swimming pool and everything, but unfortunately we can only come up with the money right now to do the dome, and it's going to be built for and designed for all different types of sports, all different recreational uses. We haven't even really fully understand what this facility can be used for until we get into the design of that, but I know volleyball is excited about it, basketball, and the court facilities that are there. All of those are things that we need in our town, and we've been looking for a long, long time. And so I think that it's really going to be a big piece of recreational infrastructure for our town that we're going to add over in the next year or so. So finally, the Winterfest. I guess someone's wondering what teams people are cheering for. So I'm a little bit stuck there because I'm a Holy Spirit alumni, and I cheered for Holy Spirit, but then my kids went to Queen Elizabeth. So now I'm got a little bit of a heart there, and I coach both teams in the championships. So I'm a little bit stuck. So I'm going to stay right on the fence with that one. And
Double ducks.
so, and I'll let you see. I'm going to come out a winner no matter what, I think. And that's it for me. But I hope everybody gets out to the Shield game. It's a big thing in the town. The kids, it's a big deal for everyone to get out and show the kids or the players, both junior high and high schools, that how it is. Fill the stadium up there with people cheering on your team. That's it for me.
I guess, Councillor Connors, you know what it's like for the Sutter parents now, having to cheer on multiple teams at once. Councillor Hillier.
Yes, Your Worship. A couple of things, a couple of information items coming out of planning. First of all, in consideration of concerns related to surface water flows, the department has been requiring that rear yard landscaping for subdivision and infill residential lots be landscaped as a condition of an occupancy permit. So basically, at one point in time, we only required front lawns to be completed. Now we're looking at rear yards, because we find ourselves in situations where you've got rear yards at a higher grade than neighbours behind them, and when it's not, when the landscaping is not completed, of course, you've got erosion and all of that ends up down in the neighbour's backyard. So we'll be passing that along to our builders in the town shortly. Also, Your Worship, we've been working on a proposed boundary change, as you're aware, with the town of Paradise for some time. Just want to let people know that the consultant appointed to complete the feasibility study for the proposed boundary change is intending to hold a public meeting and formal public hearings regarding the matter in late February. So I know there are people in the town looking to develop property as a result of these boundary changes, and it's nice to see that it's moving forward. Finally, Your Worship, as you're aware, we've got a development up on Windermere. And we've got 10 or 11 lots along the street. As a result of that development, the asphalt is going to be taken up in front of all of those lots, which basically takes up most of Windermere. Unfortunately, on either end, Windermere is in pretty rough shape. So I'm asking staff if they can reach out to the developer, and while the developer has 2/3 of it torn up, perhaps we can work with them to complete the rest of it. Thank you, Your Worship. That's it for me.
Yeah, Windermere is not very wide as it is, as it's kind of crumbling on one side as it goes. So hopefully at the end of the day, it'll be better than when they started. First off, I just want to offer a bit of congratulations. This past week, Councillor Rex Hillier was awarded the 75th Confederation Anniversary Medal. So congratulations to you. Yep. When I asked what it was for, Councillor Hillier offered up that he was the token old jock
Yeah.
amongst the group of people that received the medal that day, but I think it goes a little deeper than that, Councillor Hillier.
It
So
was certainly an honor to be part of that group. You know, you went in and you looked. Actually, I looked at the name tags on the chairs, and I'm saying to myself, what am I doing here today with these people? Of course, we were seated alphabetically. So the gentleman next to me was a gentleman by the name of Heffernan. I've known him for a long time because he lived next to my dad, backyard to my dad. He's also Chief Heffernan's dad, but that's not why he was there. He was there because of his involvement in the Church Lads Brigade. He's 84 years old, I believe, very active, and he spent some 64 years building the CLB. And we were sitting there Wednesday, I guess last week, and while the Premier was presenting these awards, he leaned over to me and he said, Rex, I wonder could we rebuild that company in Topsail? All right, so at his age, he still wants to be building the Church Lads Brigade, and it was certainly a pleasure to have sat with him on that day. Thank you.
Yeah, and Mr. Heffernan with the Church Lads Brigade, of course, he was front and center when the Great Fire happened in 1992 in St. John's, and in A Different Life, I interviewed him a couple of times down there talking about Out of the Ashes program, and of course, the Church Lads Brigade did a great job under his direction in rebuilding and offering it up, and I did run into him actually at Bill Strickland's funeral. And he talked about the very same thing, about getting the CLB back on the go in CBS. So great, and thank you for sharing that story. And congratulations on being awarded that medal. On a couple other notes, I just wanted to echo some of the other counselors here tonight, offering condolences to the family and friends, former co-workers of Randy Walsh, a fixture at the French Stadium, and of course, some of you already spoken about his iconic a sense of being part of the fabric down there. Anybody that's been there has either seen him, met him, knows him, or has talked to him, and it's a very sad, of course, that he has passed. And he was also a naval reservist as well. So the town's flags at the Monument of Honor are at half-mast for Mr. Walsh. And all as well, I want to offer condolences on behalf of the town to former Mayor Richard Goss, whose wife Carrie passed away this week. And of course, anybody that met Carrie pretty well loved Carrie. She was that type of person. And of course, that family, I guess, was hit again, but the passing of George Gooby, who a lot of people knew, and of course, it says a volunteer in the town, and it's been a tough week, I can tell you, and we send out our condolences to all those family and friends involved in that have to. We'll be dealing with that now for the rest of the week, of course, and honoring them and remembering it for a lifetime contributions to their own, not only their families, our community as well. I'm going to just touch a bit, if I could, excuse me, on the announcement from last, I can't remember when it was now, Tuesday, I think it was. Got a call on Monday, announcement on Tuesday. That's the best way to do it. That Councillor Barrett talked about, the upgrade, the amazing upgrade to indoor space in our community. And of course, like Councillor Barrett rightfully said, that was day one. We came in here and we talked about what we wanted, and we were living pretty well at the end of COVID then, but COVID exposed the severe lack of indoor space in Conception Bay South. And of course, a number of people had gone through the recreation master plan that outlined some of the needs in the town, and that was, of course, front and center. And as Councillor Barrett noted, and Councillor Connors, it's a great upgrade. It'll serve thousands of people, and it'll allow people to stay right here in our community and do some of the things that they love, which I think is really important. It's not only important for them, for not having to travel in winter, it's important for our businesses and our local economy to keep our people here so that they're spending their money here rather than when they're visiting somewhere else to do some of these things. So it's a great addition to our community, and I've already had calls from other communities and people in different sectors wondering how we can get one ourselves. And I'm sharing no secrets at this point, but very happy that it's happening for our residents. And, and the other thing about, I just want to say about the pool, and of course, a lot of people have concerns about the pool. I will say this, we are one of the fortunate communities in the province, one of the few that actually have a pool. And we're going to hopefully make a bit of the best of it this summer, when we're going to spend, I believe, about $250,000 on upgrades to the washrooms, the front entranceway for the bathrooms and the showering, and bringing them into a modern state for privacy that is required in this day and age. So we're happy to do that, and we're happy that the pool has reopened. And I just want to finish my little bit here by saying, when the announcement was made, one of the messages I got from one of the, I believe it was volleyball, the person said, "I'm so excited I could cry." So that's the kind of good message you like to hear out of an announcement for our town. And I still believe there's a lot more to come in 2025 for Conception Bay South, so stay tuned. Okay, Other committees, which is in a different spot on the agenda today, so I'm just going to check with any counselors from any of the other committees that we sit on that may want to give us an update. Yep, Counselor Moores?
Thank you, Mayor Bent. I had a downtown CBS meeting last Thursday morning, and they're busy as usual. You'll see that they, if there's anything on the go in the downtown, the representative from downtown CBS is there. I know they had a couple people at the spa grand opening on the weekend, and they're also partnering with the town to give out hot chocolate at the Winterfest skate this weekend. So lots going on. They have a lot more events coming up, so, and they post everything on their social media, and they're trying to visit as many downtown businesses as they can to get promotional videos and things like that. So if you don't already follow them, I highly encourage you to follow their social media because they have great information there. Thanks.
Yeah, they do a great job highlighting businesses, and I think we've heard our ads, but the videos that they've been doing lately have been truly fantastic. Yeah. Anyone else from any other committee? Yes, Councilor Butler.
Thank you, Your Worship. Seniors Advisory Committee had the first meeting of the new year last Thursday, and it's great to have everybody back around the table. They're a very enthusiastic group of seniors. Our goal is over the next few months, we're going to be working on the age-friendly survey that have been distributed. And with staff and the committee, we're going to work on the data that came from it. And from that, we will create another age-friendly document with different things maybe and updates and things that we've got done and then more things that we want to get done. So they're very enthusiastic and looking forward to this year with them. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilor Butler. Anyone else? I'll just finish this segment off by, we forgot to mention that on Saturday morning, we're going to be serving up a pancake breakfast free of charge down at the CBS Arena. And I'm not sure what's on the menu, but I know that there's more than just pancakes. So we encourage everybody to come out. I can't remember, I think I did blueberry pancakes last time. Not sure what everybody's going to be doing, but anyways, I encourage everybody to come out. It's a great time. We got a bit of music on the go, and it's a nice atmosphere. So come out and enjoy Winterfest with us. We're going to go to Finance and Administration, and this evening, I think, Councillor Tilley, are you taking the lead there?
I am indeed, Your Worship.
Okay.
5 recommendations from Finance Administration. The first two deal with their bylaws, which are some minor word changes that are required under the new Towns and Local Service Districts Act. Item 6A, Road Reservation Bylaw. Be it so resolved that the Road Reservation Bylaw be adopted as presented. So moved.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Moores. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
6B, Snow Clearing Bylaw. Be it so resolved that the Snow Clearing Bylaw be adopted as presented. So moved.
We have a seconder. Councillor Butler. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
C, Tax and Other Receivable Adjustments. Business tax adjustments. Be it so resolved that approval be given to adjust tax and other receivables accounts as noted below. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Connors. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
6D, Tax and Other Receivable Adjustments. Be it so resolved that approval be given to adjust tax and other receivables accounts as noted below. So moved.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Barrett. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Item 6E, Business Closure Tax Adjustment Policy. Be it so resolved that the Business Closure Tax Adjustment Policy be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Moores. Discussion.
Yes, Your Worship, I believe that just gives staff the ability to, fast track a lot of the closures that we see come before council. And of course, not that council will not see these, our finance department will give out a detailed report every month.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
And that's it from Finance Administration.
Okay, I'm going down the agenda and I see the next thing is on Planning and Development. And who's taking care of planning this evening? Councillor Hillier.
Yes, Your Worship, we've got a couple of recommendations coming forward. Recommendation 8A, White Hill Pond Quarry. Be it so resolved that in accordance with sections 10.7 and 10.27 of the town's development regulations, application number COM-24-118, received on October 3rd, 2024, to develop a sand and gravel quarry southeast of Peacekeepers Way, that is Route 2, and north of White Hill Pond, accessed via Granny Till Road, be approved. So moved.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Butler. Discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, this is not a new quarry while seeking permitting. It's not a new quarry, and it's not an extension to make an old quarry larger. This quarry has been working there for some time without issue. There's a change in ownership which requires change in permitting. All of the provincial permits are in place, and they're simply seeking a permit from the town to start operation or to resume operation.
Any other comments? Yes, Councillor Hardy.
Just to add to Councillor Hillier's comments there, again, it's not to expand the area. It's going to be the same materials that will be excavated or taken from the site. It's just a change of ownership. So I think there's been some confusion with residents wondering if it was going to be bigger or larger. There's different materials being excavated. It's pretty much just a transfer of ownership.
Anyone else want to speak to this one? I'll just say that when we looked at it, one of the things that struck me was that it doesn't seem to be an expansion or a new quarry. It's been operating there for more than 20 years, I think, at this site, which is some comfort. I will say that the province, as Councillor Hillier pointed out, has given this approval already. They're just seeking the permit to operate as a business within the town. And of course, all of the rules and regulations for quarries are outlined specifically in the provincial approval with regards to remediating the property after this is done. And that's something I'm not even sure, and I can't speak intelligently about it, but I can say that it's something that I think is really important, that when the quarry comes to the end of its life, it has to be put back to some semblance so that it's not left as an open pit in the town. And I think that's something that falls upon us, the permit issuer, to ensure that we keep an eye to that happening. Having said that, I want to note that there was a submission to the province when they first put it out, and there's a submission to town when we put it out from Keep. And they outlined a few key points to them that I think makes a great deal of sense, and is something that I'm glad that the province has in their hands, and is something that we have in ours to keep an eye to as well. And I think that there's a couple things in there that we ought to follow up with the province on to ensure that it's being an eye to. And I know there's a lot of quarries in this province. It's a big job. But our job is to look out for what's happening in our backyard, and we need to do that. So that's all I had to say about it. Councillor Hillier, I don't know if you want to follow up or finish up. But
You did reference remediation, and I'm pretty sure somewhere in our conversations, we talked about the previous owner having already done some remediation in that area as well.
That's good. Okay. Any other comments? All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. Thank you.
There we go. 8BA, 2703 and 2707 Topsail Road. Be it so resolved that upon payment of a non-refundable processing fee and a deposit, and in accordance with Section 14 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000, the town undertake public and stakeholder consultation with respect to proposed rezoning of 2303 and 2307 Topsail Road from the residential medium density R2 and residential mixed R3 to the commercial general C2 zone, and to replace auto body repair shop with automotive repair shop in the commercial Main Street C-1 and commercial general C2 zones. So moved.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Tilley, discussion?
Just, Your Worship, we've got, there are two items here bunched into one motion. Basically, the owner of these properties is asking to rezone to commercial general, basically to reflect what's happening on the properties at the moment, and he wishes to expand somewhat there. And while we're working through that process, we're going to take the opportunity to make just some wording change in our development regulations, changing, as it says there, auto body repair shop with automotive repair shop in the commercial Main Street. So while there are two, it's just we're sort of piggybacking on the same process.
Yeah, and I think the automotive repair was more inclusive than auto body repair in designation, so it makes more sense.
Yeah.
Anybody else comment on this one?
Yeah, I just want to make a comment that I drove past this place yesterday or the day before, and what a phenomenal job they got done. I'm cleaning up this building and getting it done. I think it's a great job, so I'm quite pleased to support this.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
All right,
Contrary minded? Carried.
and that's it, Your Worship. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Hillier. Next, I see procurement. We have a couple of items. Who will speak to procurement this evening? Councillor Tilley.
11A, expression of interest for mobile food truck opportunities. Be it so resolved that the town proceed to call an expression of interest for mobile food truck opportunities for the calendar year 2025. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Moores. Discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, this is just an expressive interest process that provides equal opportunity for mobile food truck vendors to schedule time to bring their business to the community, different places and different events. So we're hoping to get a lot of interest in that.
Yeah, I know last year, I think for the first time, we had a food truck down at Topsail Beach for pretty well the whole summer, and that was really well received. So hopefully we'll see a little bit more of that for residents in some of our tourist areas for sure. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried. Somebody yet to vote?
You know who? Okay.
Yeah, we found him.
If anyone's wondering, there's always a little pause between each one because there's a pile of stuff comes up on your screen. 11B, request for proposals, fireworks technician services for 2025. Be it so resolved that the town proceed to call a request for proposals for fireworks technician services for special events for the year 2025, and funds for this expense are available in the 2025 operating budget. So moved.
We have a seconder. Councillor Hardy, discussion.
Yes, Your Worship, pretty straightforward. The town has two events every year where we require the services of a fireworks technician to put off our fireworks.
All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
And that's it from procurement.
Okay, I see we have an order. Who's doing the order? Do we know?
I'm going to that one too. I'm a busy man tonight.
A little greedy tonight, Councillor Tilley. You go ahead.
12A, order for 53 Greeleytown Road. Be it so resolved that the order issued on 53 Greeleytown Road under the Municipalities Act 1999 and the Waste Disposal and Property Regulations, ordering the removal of all miscellaneous debris, wrecked vehicles, and wood situated on the property be rescinded. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Barrett, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Tilley. If I could, just for a second, I'd like to get just clarification on one of the previous discussion matters from planning. The numbers on the planning auto body is 2303 and 2307. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. There's another property Those two properties, when combined, sort of wrap around an existing property on Topsail Road, 2305.
Okay, that's down in the Topsail Beach area, right?
No, it's across from Villanova.
Then I would argue that it should be 27, not 23.
Sorry.
Because if I'm not mistaken, I think, I
Yeah,
think maybe the owner might be with us. He might nod that he's a 2703 to 2705. Yeah, there we go, yeah.
I believe that the captions does say 2703, but the actual body of the
Do we need-
recommendation
Do we
says
need to
opposite.
redo that? Because we don't want to redo or send a motion forward to redo a piece of land that is actually a residential area, so. Yeah, yes, the title is correct, 2703, 2707, but the body is wrong. Do we need to redo anything there, or is that good to go as it is? Okay, we can correct it moving forward. Okay, thank you for clarification on that. So if you're at 2303, don't worry, it's not, it's 2703, 2703. Okay, I don't believe we have anything else, so with that, we're back on February the 18th for the next public meeting, and next week, of course, for our committee of the whole at 4:30. So I'll ask for a motion for adjournment. Councillor Butler, seconded by Councillor Barrett. All in favor? Contrary mind? Carried.